Are you the type to get revenge or results? That's a big question, and I think it's a very important one in the area of business. We're flooded with content full of, oh man, just wait until I make it. Or, we have sayings like, success is the best revenge. While I understand the motivation behind it, it can be very motivating when people have doubted your ideas or doubted your business, doubted that you as a person can make anything successful. There is that feeling of wanting to show them, and I told you so, I can make it, and now look at you, I'm better than you, whatever, right? And there's also the other aspect where somebody has done us wrong. Or maybe you were working with somebody and they took the business idea and ran with it and left you behind, right? There's so many examples of where somebody would want business revenge, you could say. Welcome to Business is Scary, where we dissect various business topics like money, marketing, and business management with a human centric approach. If such topics are interesting to you, make sure you subscribe so you're notified of all of our weekly videos. Now, let's talk about revenge. My 2024-2025 school year was filled with me playing Monopoly Deal, which is Monopoly, but just better, like in everything you don't like about Monopoly, how long it is, whatever, is pretty much gone in Deal. I love Deal so much, but in Deal, because it's turn based, and there's still that aspect of sabotage and taking other people's properties and rent and whatever, right? What I realized was that if there's a war between two players, because the game can house up to like 5 people, right? But if two players start going back and forth and just stealing from each other, they will not win. Like, no matter what, they will not win. The game requires you to take rent or take properties from everyone equally. If you start targeting someone, or two people start targeting each other, or just one person, and everybody's taken from the same well, it creates two titans, right? And when there's two titans and there's just two people that have everything and they become the new targets, chances are they will not win. Like, it's a very interesting phenomenon that happens. I've played so many rounds of Monopoly Deal, and I've seen that every single time. Every time I start targeting someone because they kept taking my property, so I'm showing them, we don't win. And it's the same in the real world. If you spend so much of your startup life or your business life getting even, and this person that doubted me, I'm gonna do whatever, I'm gonna work in this way to show them and stuff, and it's always in your mind, while that could be motivation, it definitely hinders your ability to grow, because everything becomes about whether or not that will create envy in the other person, or it's always about that other person's reaction, how they'll perceive it. And it becomes less about actually succeeding and what that means, and growing in what that means. And it becomes compared to, how will this affect this other person negatively? Will I see them sad? Can I envision them being saddened by my success? Or this new news about my company, or this new news about my project, or going on LinkedIn and I have an internship. You revel in the idea of how they'll be reading your post now that you have an internship, or you have this thing going for you and whatever. A really good driving tip I was told when I was younger was that you tend to drive towards what you focus on. If your eyes are not straight across the road, but instead you're looking over at the bushes over there, you will unconsciously start to turn towards it. In the same way, if everything that we do is to elicit a reaction, or to make someone else feel worse, or just to, when we start reveling in just negativity and somebody else's bad day, that has negative effects. And we do want to create positive companies. Positivity does sell in the long run. Yes, negativity is, it's nice. And, even I use like wording like revenge is scary, right? But positivity is better in the long run. And that's why I try to end on positivity for a lot of these videos and give you guys what to do about the things that I talk about. Because if I just leave you in the negative, then you attribute my videos to negativity. But I don't want that. And look at some of the biggest corporations in the world. Coca-Cola has spent billions of dollars to essentially have Coca-Cola be synonymous with happy. Interesting. It's looking like you're not subscribed. And I'm talking about you. Most of you are not subscribed actually. Isn't that crazy? If you like the video, if you like the channel, and you like some of the videos, go ahead and subscribe. It supports the channel and it helps us know what you guys like, don't like, and we're able to make the content better. Anyways, that's enough of me. Back to the video. For you, understand that hate and anger and revenge is not sustainable. As you and whoever else is taking shots at each other, you realize that everybody else who doesn't have a arch nemesis are scaling faster and doing more stuff and being more impactful because they're just working and they're growing while you are at war. It's not sustainable, it's not good for anybody, and you are better off just letting it go. A good principle in business is to pursue peace. Have no ill intent. You know, people like to say it's just business and then do the most heinous thing, right? When you're negotiating, when you're, working with other people, have the best intent in mind. Work with integrity and work in a way that you can be proud of later. Now, in your life, you will meet people who don't do this. People who try to screw you over and, hopefully they fail at it, but sometimes they might be successful. But the worst thing we can do is stoop to their level and be petty or try to get revenge or work maliciously to get even. We don't need that. The best thing you can do is to not stoop to their level and retain your level of integrity. That's the best revenge, in my opinion. I like a quote from Warren Buffett where he says, "You can't make a good deal with a bad person." And I really like that because no matter what, if both people are not coming in with the right intentions, the deal, no, it doesn't matter how well you do the contract, how many clauses you put, how many, how law proof like the contract is, someone who wants to screw you over will screw you over. So when that happens, we can just not work with them anymore, right? You get screwed over, and it's like, okay, yes, obviously pursue your legal options if you can afford them, but never try to get even and do the same. Trying to screw them back or trying to find some way to like get them to like lose out on business and stuff. Just put it to the side, cut off the business, blacklist them from ever doing a deal with them, and you move on and you continue down your path of your business and your dreams. Don't let some scumbag muddy the waters and corrupt your brain. Stay positive and optimistic about humans, and having the right intention. You don't need revenge, and if you feel like you need revenge, then what you need is healing. Heal, stay positive, pursue peace. And when it doesn't happen, you just continue on and you take a note. This person is just not a good person to work with. Doesn't mean they're a bad human. I don't believe in bad humans, but I just won't work with them in business. And it's just business. And this is the way to use it's just business, not, screwing people over, right? All to say, be the type of person that is focused on their lane, focused on growing sustainably, and just having sustainable practices. And you never know, never burn a bridge, right? People can come around. People who doubted you before can look at what you're doing and they might turn around. They say, you know what? I one was wrong for, what I said about you and your business. And they might turn around and they say, actually, I now see the vision and stuff. And don't be so quick to say, bandwagon, okay, now you know, keep that same energy. All that stuff. It's so juvenile. It's childish. If you are actually focused on growth and focused on getting as many people promoting your stuff, and being brand ambassadors of your company and of your project, your startup, whatever, then bring people into the fold, whether they doubted at first, whether were naysayers at the beginning. Who cares? Right? Growth is growth. Um, Look at sustainability, look at the long run. Because that's the thing about revenge. It's usually very short term, and you're not looking at life after you get it. You get your revenge, now what, right? But when you're focused on growth, then all that other stuff is just, you see that it's useless. There's no point. You don't get anything at the end. Be a positive person overall. And just make amends with everyone, because business is only getting scarier.